On Friday, August 21st at approximately 11:23 in the morning, Sheriff's Dispatch received numerous 911 calls of an active shooter in the parking lot of the Vons gas station located in Nipomo. Sheriff's deputies and the California Highway Patrol immediately responded to the scene. The suspect had been shooting multiple rounds in the Vons gas station located at 550 West Tefft Street in Nipomo. The suspect, upon arriving, got out and went to the front door of the gas station and tried to get in. Fortunately, we had two clerks that were working in the gas station that were very much paying attention. They saw him get out of the car with the handgun in hand. It immediately hit the door locks on the gas station front entry. The suspect could not get in, and that's when the first rounds were shot into the door, trying to get the door open, both at the door handle area and above. Suspect then turned and walked toward Tefft Street and began shooting rounds across Tefft Street. I think those of you who are out there knew that he had shot a PG&E power pole that started a small fire in the pole, shot across the street, and multiple rounds. The suspect shot at a CAL FIRE engine that was traveling on Tefft Street that was actually going to an unrelated call, and hit the engine several times, I think fairly close to the passenger position in the engine. We're fortunate that nobody was hit and killed. The rounds that were fired across the street, we're still looking to try to track them down, but we know they probably landed somewhere in a building or business across the street. The suspect continued his path across Tefft Street. Once he got across Tefft Street, he actually stopped traffic with his gun, had engagement with at least one driver of a black sedan that were, I still believe, working on trying to identify and find out what that conversation was. After there for a short time, he returned, walked back up to the gas station parking lot, and walked up toward Vons grocery store area. He then came back down a short time later to the gas station. The suspect was able this time to enter the gas station at that point. The doors were either unlocked or damaged from the earlier shooting, but was able to go in. The two clerks, and I believe another witness that were inside, as soon as they locked the door, they crawled into a back office room where they locked the door, monitored their cameras, and were on 911 telling dispatch where the suspect was. So when he came back in the store, they were aware of that. The suspect fired multiple rounds in the store, including more or less walking around the store, but also at a particular door in the business. Around that time, our first units arrived. We had two sheriff's deputies in two separate cars, and a California Highway Patrol officer arrived on scene and positioned themselves facing the door after receiving numerous information from witnesses in the area, and then the radio dispatch that the suspect had re-entered the store, and they could hear multiple rounds from outside. The suspect came out of the store, was given commands, and a exchange of gunfire occurred. Between our deputies and the CHP officer, law enforcement shot approximately 5 rounds, and we know the suspect shot in excess of 20 rounds during the entire event. The other thing that I wanted to point out is that when the suspect went back in the store after he had been firing rounds, a citizen saw him go back in the store, realized the car parked directly in front of the store belonged to the suspect, and pulled his pickup truck directly behind the suspect's vehicle, blocking it in. He then stepped out of his vehicle and fled the area. Even though we don't encourage people to intervene, the fact is that people have to make their own decisions, and And I think I just want to highlight that, A, we had two very attentive and well-trained clerks that reacted immediately, and then we had a citizen that got involved in order to not allow the suspect to be able to get back in his car and leave the area. And I think all of them are to be commended. We are fortunate to know law enforcement or civilians were injured in this event, even though if you can imagine with that many rounds being fired, that we really lucked out. The Sheriff's Officer Major Crimes Unit immediately arrived and is conducting an officer-involved shooting investigation with the assistance of the California Highway Patrol and also the FBI.